according to what's available to me. With this particular robin's breast, I've had lots of problems. I use sort of fake red thistly flowers, and apparently they were in vogue last year, but not this year. So there are fashions in fake flowers, unfortunately. There we go. I've always found that a sense of humour in my work is very important. I think sometimes things within craft can get very serious, so I just like to be light-hearted about things, and I love people's reactions, and I like trying to be refreshing, and I want them to see my view on the world, and it also sort of gets out a lot of my frustrations or things that things that irritate me, because I'm probably quite a grumpy, impatient person naturally. So I sort of take it out within my birds. Okay, next I make the wing, which is made of cockhackle's red game feathers. I get this from fly fishing shops, and they're just assembled together and then bound with wire. Trimmed. And then welded to the body in the right position. Like that. And then the next thing is the beak, which is made of an old tin, and I cut out a very two-dimensional beak shape. This tin is from, I used to collect tins, so I had a bit of a supply, and now I go to junk shops and raid them when they're cheap. Car boot sales are another good supply, but sometimes they're too nice to cut up, and I get torn between conflicting interests. So then this gets welded to the body, which can be a bit tricky. Some tins weld better than others, but it seems to be welding today. Like that. Sometimes the tin disintegrates a bit, but I quite like that quality. Makes it a bit more raggedy. And then you have to make an eye, which is made of twisting the wire. That's then attached to body. And adjusted to make its character. The eye can say a lot about what mood the bird's in. You can make it look evil or happy or dopey. He looks poised, like he's found a worm. So once the beak's on and the eye, that's a complete bird, and it's all finished. Now it goes in one of the wall pieces and takes part in its own story. I haven't decided which story this will be in yet, but I think it will have something to do with a worm. I find the beginning stage is quite stressful, trying to create the species. I guess it's that sense you don't know what's going to happen, and then once I have it, I really enjoy drawing it and developing its character, putting the sentences together, and it's the combination of the writing and the drawing, and when it comes together, that's my favourite bit. At the moment, I'm on a craft council scheme called Next Move, which is based at Liverpool Hope University, and the scheme is over 2 years. So I've just finished my first year, and they give you studio space and a maintenance grant, so you're allowed to set up your business, and then hopefully within the 2 years you're stable enough to go out on your own and set up your own studio. So it's like an incubation period, and it's great to have the support of the Craft Council to advise you and to promote you. Definitely helps. So I'm very lucky. At the moment I'm investigating three-dimensional objects, so I'm starting to do bird cages, and I'm arguing with myself over the need for text, the need not to have text, the role of the three-dimensional object. Can they just be sort of visually pleasing objects in their own right? What am I doing with it? So there are all these questions. I'm also doing the bird houses, which are much more elaborate, which sort of goes back to my older work, sort of really pushing the wire, seeing what it can do, making it perform in its most decorative state, and relating this with birds as well. But yeah, each new project has a new set of questions for me. It's like a constant battle to find the right answer.